Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to another YouTube video. If you don't know me, my name is Danny at Danny Portraits on Instagram, and I'm a portrait photographer from Switzerland, so check me out if you want to on Instagram at Danny Portraits. Today I'm going to show you my whole workflow of a image I'm gonna edit. So yeah, let's jump right into Photoshop and look at my workflow. So usually I just open the raw image and do some fine tuning in Lightroom. So this is already done. And now I'm gonna do some skin retouching using the dodge and burn method. So I have two actions here. One is for the global and one is for the local dodge and burn. I usually use a dodge and burn assist. As you can see, it turns your image to black and white, so I can see inconsistencies a lot better. I'm gonna reset the curve here, and I'm using the hand tool and look out for a darker spot, bring down the curve, and also for a bright spot, just like that, so I get a lot of contrast in here. Usually I also like to do a third point to intensify the whole contrast. Now I'm going to do some dodging and burning here. Oh, they just inverted my layer by doing the action. I don't know, Photoshop does some weird things sometimes, but yeah. Alright, so I use my Wacom tablet with a pen, as you can see, and then I start to dodge. And yeah, make sure I have a white brush here, and also my flow on 1%, hardness on 0, and then I start somewhere on the face. And I just stay that far away from the whole image. I don't zoom any closer because this is for Instagram and that's already enough details, so you don't have to zoom in even more and do more work. Alright, I think most of you are already familiar with this skin retouching technique, so I don't go any deeper in it, so I'm gonna fast forward this. But if you want a dodge and burn detailed tutorial, let me know in the comments and I will see what I can do. Usually I spend about 10 to 15 minutes for my skin retouching, and then I'm usually pretty done. So this is just like a live session I usually do. I just go through my whole image editing workflow. So feel free to copy any steps and ask me any questions if needed. Yeah, I just forgot to turn off the desktop audio. Sometimes I have just some chill music in the background. I hope YouTube is not gonna penalty me for that. So please don't tell anyone that I use copyrighted music. Yeah, otherwise I won't have any talking audio in this section, but that doesn't really matter, I hope. Otherwise, I just cover it in this section now. If you ask you about the blemishes, I usually get rid of it after the dodge and burning. Some people do it before, but yeah, it depends. Sometimes I do it also before. That actually makes more sense, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I like to mix things up so I don't get bored while editing. Alright. So let's get rid of the blemishes. So usually I create a new layer just at the bottom of the local dodge and burn layer, so right after the raw file. Alright, so I'm using the healing brush tool with a diffusion of 4 and hardness about 40 to 50, or yeah, 37. I know I'm lying sometimes just to confuse you. Oh yeah, just make sure you're on current and below. Otherwise you won't affect anything, and mode is on normal. Let's get rid of those little blemishes. I don't know why, but I like to do it with the mouse because I'm a lot faster. Other people do it with the tablet also. I don't know why I'm not doing it. Probably because I did a lot of skin retouching with the mouse before I switched to a tablet. This on the other side is a lot easier with colors on. Let's see, maybe I have to correct some stuff here in the dodge and burn assist again. And yeah, I tend to dodge too much. So usually you should dodge and burn about the same amount, but yeah, I dodge a lot, as you can see. I didn't even burn anything, but that's not a good habit, so sometimes I do like to start with the burning, so I don't dodge as much as I do right now, so I have a right balance. But yeah, as you can see, that also works, so both way works, and this works pretty good for me. So now I'm gonna burn a little bit here to make everything smooth. Yeah, her hand has some inconsistencies also, so I try to burn that or dodge and burn that hand a little bit. Usually I do it with frequency separation, but if it's not too much, I like to do it with the dodge and burning, or better say, I prefer it. Yeah, let's see how far we can go. Otherwise, I'm just gonna frequency separation a little bit. Alright, this looks a lot better, I think. Before and after, yeah, not that bad. So let's turn off the dodge and burn assist. And now I move on with the global dodge and burn. So yeah, let's start with the highlights. I like to have my flow on 7%, but that's totally preference. So you can do even more or less, but I like to keep it at 7. And then I'm gonna emphasize her highlights and her shadows in her face. Not too much, because I like to keep it kind of natural. Alright, now I switch to the shadow or to the burn layer and do the opposite and burn the shadows. Okay, cool. I see there's some stuff to burn here, or to dodge with the local dodge and burn, because I didn't see it in the shadows. So let's switch back to the local dodge and burn and do that just like that. Yeah, and I just turned my flow to 1% again. All right, let's burn. And also here on the eyes, some shadows here which are bothering me. Okay, also up here, didn't see that in the shadows, but I think now it's looking better. Let's see, down here, and that's almost for the skin. So let's close those tabs here. And then I like to emphasize her hair, so I turn my flow to about 10%, and then I paint in on the highlight layer here, painting over those brighter hair strains on every side, everywhere. And then switch to shadows again to burn, and do the opposite. And just paint over those shadows in her hair. So let's close these together and call it skin. Let's see before and after so far. Okay, cool. Maybe I'm gonna dodge this a little bit here. So let's see. Yeah, this is too much shadow, so turn down my flow again and dodge this away. Whoops, misclick. Now let's turn off the dodge and burn assist and then move on with the tone and color. Oh, I gotta rename my actions here. Alright, and this is for the color grading. I like to start off with a curves layer to add some contrast to the flat image. So I turn down a darker spot and then I pull up a brighter spot to add some contrast. Yeah, this is too much. My computer is kind of lagging while pulling those curves. I don't know why. And then add a midpoint, and as you can see, her skin turned a little bit yellow, so I like to change the blending mode to luminosity, which doesn't affect her skin tone. Alright, this is too much shadows here, so I'm gonna pull it up slightly. Then I usually play with a blue and green curves layer. So this really depends on the image. Usually I do it like that. I just pull up a brighter spot and then turn down a mid-tone also on the greens. Pretty much this is what I do. Play up a little bit and turn it down. And by pulling the midtones down, you're gonna add some reds, so be careful with that. Then I change the blending mode to color. Also like to add some green and blue tones in the shadows. So I pull it up like that. Oh, this is too much. Yeah, it's kind of lagging sometimes. And also greens. Okay, this looks cool. Now, usually I play with the color wheel, as you can see in my images and you always ask, so I usually use a complementary color scheme or color rule, which looks like this, and I probably go with something like that. You can also go with the split complementary colors. I think it's gonna end up like that. This is gonna be orange, and yeah, skin tone is gonna be a little bit brighter. So let's play with the greens. I think we have some greens here in the glass or in the mirror. Yeah, we do. So I'm gonna turn those yellow, so I can do it orange at the end and turn those blues into a teal look. So yeah, we had some greens here, or yellowish greens. So now I'm gonna turn it orange by pulling those sliders here, playing around. These are yellow now, so we're about here. And then I'll play with the blues here in the background. So by taking back magenta, I'm gonna introduce some teal tones, just like that. And I want to have some more blue colors, so I'm gonna add some cyans and turn down yellows a slight bit here, not too much. So like that. And also on the cyans tab, adding some cyans here and pulling down the magentas, or yeah, pull it to the green side, because the opposite of magenta is obviously green. So also playing here with the yellow slider to see if we can add even more colors. Okay, cool. So these are still yellow because I want to deselect her, and then playing with the yellow tones. Just like that, adding that mask here. This looks okay. Gonna add some feathering, and now I can turn down the cyans tab to add some magenta or orange tones to make it like that, and add some magentas also. Gonna help, just like that, maybe a little bit yellow. Okay, cool. This is what I wanted. Maybe playing around with some cyans and blues again, adding another selective color layer in between, doing it with the cyans, also adding some cyans here. And now we get that orange and teal tone. And yeah, because she has blue eyes, we also changed her eye color, and this is not what I want. So I'm gonna group those two layers together here and add a mask over it. Now I'm gonna brush over with a black brush to exclude her eyes from the mask, from the selective color layers, or from the color grading. All right, looks more natural, I hope. I think those are the eyes we had at the beginning. Yeah, right now we have her real eye colors here. Next, I'm gonna take down the contrast from the background with the curves layer. So what I do is raise up the shadows a little bit and then turn down the midtones so the model stands out from the background. And usually I add a LUT here, a 3-strip LUT or a 2-strip LUT to add some more peachy tones. If you go too intense, it looks like this. So about 10 to 13 usually. And then I'm gonna whiten her eye whites. So I'm gonna brush over here roughly, because this is a lot easier for me if I brush over like that, invert it and correct it. This is just my way to do it. You can perfectly paint in if you want to, but I like to do it that way. This is a lot faster for me. All right, so now I'm gonna turn down the saturation here, not too much. Her teeth also, so gotta invert it because it's easier like that. Right, invert it again. Do her lips. Okay, cool. Yeah, I see some shadows here, so a really bad job at dodging and burning, so I gotta go back to that. Let's open it again, turn on the dodge and burn assist again, using a flow of 1%, hardness on 0, and a white brush. Enter that white brush. Okay, just brush over here, also on her lips to make it more smooth. Also down here I forgot a little bit, and on the other side. Yeah, this looks a lot better. You always have some shadows here at the end of the lips, or I don't know how to call it in English. Yeah, you know what I mean. So turn off the dodge and burn assist and see what we've done so far, before and after. with the coloring. Okay, cool. Next I'm gonna add some fake blush here. So let's close the color wheel here. And yeah, if you don't see the color wheel, you can just go to Window and Extensions, Adobe Color Themes, and this pop up like that. All right, so let's change the blending mode to soft light, and using a red or red wine color, hardness on 0, and I like to use a flow of about 4%. And then I like to brush over her cheeks and her nose, also on her eyes. Okay, cool. And then change the opacity to blend everything in. So turn down the opacity because this is obviously too much. So we have a set amount of blush here. Okay, cool. So next thing I'm gonna do is enhance her eyes, which I already showed in a reel. So I like to use the hand tool here, pull up a brighter spot and turn down a darker spot. Oh, this is too dark. So just like that. Then invert it using Ctrl-I to invert it. I like to use shortcuts. This fasten up my workflow a lot. So just paint it like that. Turn down the opacity. Yeah, this is obviously too much. Turn it down. Yeah, this is a lot better, looking natural. Group those together, call it SFX, and we're actually almost done here. I just do some slight adjustments at the end before I upload it on Instagram or so. And I also saw this kappa sign is a little bit too blue, so I'm gonna exclude that also from the group here, just like the eyes. Go back using a black color here and brush over. Yeah, I don't like that if the brand has a slightly different color than the original one. So yeah, this is my workflow so far. I just do some detail adjusting and some other stuff, but if you want to know more about my workflow or my detailed workflow, check out my tutorial on my website. I'm actually also working on a second version, but I just messed up the audio, so I gotta do a voiceover over the whole tutorial, so excuse me for that. That's why it's taking so long. But yeah, if you want to check out my first one, it's available on my website, and everyone who purchased the first one also gets access to the second one. So I'm back with the camera, with the face cam. Sorry, my camera somehow died on me. Thanks for tuning in. I hope it was helpful and informative. If you have any further questions, just let me know in the comments, and I will hopefully see you on the next one. So, bye.